Kaiti, you say under normal circumstances, I respect that, but I disagree with showing the positive side of a pedophile. Well, we're not showing the positive side of a pedophile because this happened before any of this came to light. It would be different if these accusations came out and we then brought her on and, didn't talk about it, just try to paint her in a decent light. And two, here's another thing. She hasn't been convicted of this yet. This is an early on story. We could be completely wrong. It's too early to tell. These are the day of these charges. Now, I'm not saying that, I'm not defending her by any means, but we just don't know yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. People should wait till more information comes out. These are only preliminary things. Again, it's hard to even wrap your head around it. It is what it is. Let's just keep track on it. And, hopefully, there might be a really good chance she was innocent in all this stuff. So,
yeah,
I mean, I'm going to try to give her at least the benefit of the doubt. I don't know enough about it. She has not said anything on it. So you're only getting one side of the story. And I found out from my past history with people, when you only hear one side of the story, you're going to get the story wrong. But again, these are damning charges, to say the least. And it's kind of, I don't know what she's going to say to kind of, absolve herself of these things. So, I mean, it's like 8 counts and possibly even more. So it's not like a one-time thing. They're charging that it could be multiple different things. So, yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
What's the ETA on Peterson?
Okay, I think he's already here.
Awesome. Hello, Mr. Peterson.
How you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing excellent.
Can you hear me?
You? I can.
I'm doing all right. Silly of me that when I first noticed this story earlier this afternoon, the first thing I did was jump on email and email Steve, as if he wouldn't hear about this. But I thought about after sending the email, I'm like, yeah, he's got about this already. But the reason I asked to come on, and it's my take on the specific situation. They're didn't give her a chance for bail, which that in and of itself looks kind of bad. But the reason I want him on is I was on the but listening to the Drunken Peasant stream earlier. And they were talking about, how much trouble, she was going to be in and her partner were going to be in and everything. And that kind of mini triggered me a little bit. Much like you, Kyle, I spent some time in prison.
Kyle triggers a lot of people, John. Don't worry about that. Kyle triggers a lot of people.
Here I thought that Kyle caused people to get sprung, not triggered. But at any rate, I spent some time in prison, and one of the things that blew my mind when I was in prison, and before I got to prison when I was in county, is everybody was always talking about because people would go to court and they'd come back and you'd find out what sentences people were getting, and I don't know if it's this way in every state. I know it's this way in a lot of states, and it's this way in my state. But pedophiles get, to use the jail vernacular, get these punk-ass sentences, okay? And it pisses me off to no end. There was pedophiles on our block, and they'd come back from sentencing and they'd be getting these punk ass 2 to 4s or 1 to 3s, after doing some vile, hideous shit to children. And I just don't understand why it's like that. I'm against the death penalty, but I got to tell you, when it comes to pedophiles, I have to question myself on that.
Well, I know for a fact that there was one in our community at one time. He seemed to have vanished off the planet. Nobody knew what happened to him. I'm going to tell you who he is because it's been a long time and he's been in jail for quite some time now. People may not know him any longer, but he was a very big name back in the day. He actually even helped a lot of people get started, including myself. I had no idea about his proclivities. I had no idea about any of this. It was a shocker. He just vanished. But his name on YouTube was called Christopher Hitchslap. He got 10 years in prison for child pornography and a ring that he was in. So now, again, that's maybe not, a long term. That's kind of a slap on the wrist, you can say. But people do get convicted for these things. He was, I believe, in Florida, if I'm not mistaken. But he's been in jail several years now. So it can happen anywhere. And people that did know about this were just blown the frick away, because this guy, you would have never known. He had a huge channel. He had like 50,000 followers on his YouTube channel. Really articulate, really intelligent. It just, somebody had told me a long time after it happened, because I was like, whatever happened to this guy? He just kind of vanished. Well, I found out he was in prison. Some people in the live chat might remember him.
I mean, I just wonder if it doesn't not just depend on the state, but it must depend an awful lot on what judge they get. But yeah, the several that I encountered when I was in county, there wasn't one of them that got over 4 years. And a couple of them had really, it wasn't just like a one-off. I mean, they had, been doing this horrible stuff for years. So
you can't, you never know, man. Well, do you have anything else that you want to add real quick? We've got, I just got a notification that Frank is going to be joining us. So we need to quickly run through the Brett Keane thing before he gets in so we can talk to him. But John, is there anything else you want to throw at us? Or
nothing will get me to run faster than mentioning Brett Keane. So thanks for letting me come on.
Yeah, we don't blame you.
Thank you for coming.
Can we run too?
No.
All right.
We have to do this. Thanks, John.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So let's move to the Brett Keane video real quick.
Just people should do, even in the video where I showed irritation towards behavior. But when I turn to... Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brett Keane. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. I've decided that I'm going to do a democracy type of challenge. I'm going to give
check out my links, games you love,
the opportunity to convince me on why it is that I should continue to stand by homosexuals, defend them, whenever the Bible says very clearly, as well as God of the Bible, that it's wrong, that it's considered sexual perversion. I would like them to be able to give me one single reason why morally.
Kyle.
Hi, Frank. Give us about 10 minutes. We're wrapping up with this video, and then we're going to bring you on. Okay.
Sure.
Give me about 10 minutes, and we'll get right with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Objectively, subjectively, doesn't really matter. Give whatever opinion and views you have on why it is I should stand by transgenders and homosexuals exactly. Why should I support the fact that people are putting children in drag queen outfits and then putting them on video or putting them in photo shoots with naked men?
Okay.
Explain to me why I should defend or justify the homosexual.
Let's stop right there. Okay.
What?
Obviously, Manatee, you did not listen to my my message to you the other night. I will reiterate it for you, just because I feel like it's worth doing that. No one is asking you to defend anyone. In fact, I defy anyone to name me someone that is going, yes, Brett Keane is someone that I want in my corner. It never would happen. Ever. Number two, you make these comments, these lies. They're not even comments, they're lies about these situations, individual situations in which, trans people are taking children, making them, derobing them and putting them in with gay people. They're not. In fact, I have something that you are very, very, very allergic to, something that you hate, something that you absolutely despise. Those are called facts and statistics. Okay? I have linked in the description a link to what I'm going to be talking about right here. And basically, here is what the crux of this Penn State University. I'm sorry, not Penn State University. This is from research psychologist Professor Gregory Herrick, the University of California, whose credentials can be found. There's a link there in that article, as well as a link to his research. According to Dr. Herrick, pedophiles are people who are attracted to children, whether they are heterosexual or homosexual men. The likelihood of one or the other committing this offense is equal. He is also careful to distinguish between male-to-male molestation as compared to male-female molestation. In a point of fact, pedophiles are less concerned about the gender rather than their attraction to children. Dr. Herrick points out that the child molesters do not really have any adult sexual orientation, which is why the gender of the victim is unimportant. So what does this mean? This means that your spewing of these facts about how, because gay people now have rights to get married, that they're more welcomed in society as far as movies, culture, that sort of thing, has opened this floodgate to pedophilia, is demonstrably false. Demonstrably. Steve, anything you want to say before I?
Well, I first of all, I hate even commenting on Brett. He is the bottom of the barrel of the bottom of the barrel. I mean, he's what underneath the barrel that gets encrusted. That's just like with this fungi and crap. I mean, there's nothing lower than Brett Keane. He's by the standard by which all other pieces of shit are measured by. They measure them in Brett's. And so I don't even like talking about him, but his whole shtick is always relating things to everything has to do with pedophilia. Anything has to do with homosexual. Let's put them together. Everything has to do anything that's bad in the world. Blame a specific group. He's just vile. He's just disgusting. Yeah, no, I don't even want to talk about him, to be honest with you. He's your whipping boy. I just think he's just so disgusting. He's not even worth the time.
Well, Brett, you issued a challenge to me about a month ago after we kicked you off the show. So I'm going to issue one to you. If you think that you have a valid reason as to why you're linking a increase in pedophilia to homosexuality in any way, and them getting, homosexuals getting rights and being more accepted in society, then I welcome you on here to talk to me about it. I know that me and Jeff Holiday were talking. Steve, since you absolutely despise Brett and don't have anything to do with him, maybe me and Jeff can have a conversation with.
I don't mind.
With Mr. Keane, and you bring your facts. Now, I'm going to guess that you're not going to do it. I'm going to guess that you're going to find some way not to some reason that you think that I'm a big meanie. And he was mean to me. No way am I coming on. But I would like to talk to you about this before you continue spewing out this, because this is personal for me. I detest when someone tries to take people finally getting accepted, people finally getting in society a place where they don't feel like they're discriminated against, and then the vile scum like you tries to run your mouth like you ever did a thing for that community. So if you think that you have facts and data and you know what you're talking about, then come on here and school me about it. I would love to know. So I'll wait for your response on that. Okay. Now, Dave, do we have Frank? Is he on camera? Do we need an avatar back there, or what's the deal? Or we can just go back. You know what? We can just go back to Steve, me and Steve. Yeah. Frank.
Yeah.
How's it going, sir?
Carl. Can you hear me?
We can.
Oh, great.
Everything